Welcome back everyone to my second playthrough of Final Fantasy 1 for the Nintendo Entertainment System played on the Wii Virtual Console. Last episode, our heroes, Albert, Beez, Chip, and Nichols defeated the Fiend of Earth, Lich, and restored light to the one of the 4 darkened orbs. So now they gotta try to find the other 3 fiends, because Lich was only the first of the 4. So it's time they should probably head back to Crescent Lake to talk with the 12 sages. The 12 sages says, hey, come back and talk to us every so often, we'll give you more information. So, good place to start. But we're going to make a quick detour here at Elfland, because Elfland is where you can buy a bunch of soft potions. We used quite a few of the soft potions, 2 or 3, back in the Earth Cave because we ran into those cockatrices. So we want to restore our stock there. We also want to restore our heal potions. So that's what I did there off screen there. And now we're going to head over to Crescent Lake. We got to Crescent Lake all the time by heading to the west from Melmond, but if you head south and then east, you'll wrap around and hit Elf land there. So we'll also see a little bit more of the land. Got some swamp land there. That's not important. But what will be important later on is this desert that we're crossing under right now. So that's going to be an important place we have to visit later on. But we'll talk about that when we get there. So, but there's the port to Crescent Lake. So we're going to park our ship there. Remember, if you walk on any tile that has the concrete slabs, the little blocks there, you can't get into encounters there. So. There's Crescent Lake. If only we had a way to get across that river, we can skip a lot of walking. Well, spoiler, we're about to get a new form of transportation from the Circle of Sages. And that'll allow us to get to a few new dungeons. 3 to be precise. So, we're going to sell off some of our gear. Gear that we're actually wearing right now. Because we don't have a lot of slots in our armor, and all the gear that we're selling here we're going to end up finding in the next dungeon pretty early. So, with that steel armor we have really good defense on Boat and Beez anyway. So it's a few points of defense we're losing by selling the helmets and the shield aren't really going to matter. So, I sold 2 helmets and 1 shield. So let's go talk with the sages. This time I'll talk with them. I'll do it a little slower so I can read off what they say. We, the 12 sages, were led here by the stars and prophecy. Once the orbs shine with the power of earth, wind, fire, and water, the 4 fiends seize those powers. Earth, wind, fire, and water. The world is bound by these 4 powers. Each element's power focuses at its altar. Locate and crush the fiend. Then, to make it shine, place the orb on the altar it guarded. We did that with the Earth Orb. 4 fiends are bent on the world's destruction. 200 years ago, the Fiend of Wind teamed with that of water to destroy civilization. The Earth Fiend causes the rot of our land. The Fire Fiend will burn everything up. As you restore light to the orbs, we will reveal more secrets. Please see us repeatedly. Light Warriors, only you can make the orbs shine again. Quickly, before all is burned, hurry to Gurgu Volcano and stop the Fiend of Fire. Great job vanquishing the Earth Fiend. Now the Fire Fiend wakes. With this canoe, go to the volcano and defeat that fiend also. So yeah, we got a canoe now. Now we can go into the rivers. 400 years ago, we lost control of the wind. 200 years later, we lost the water. Then earth and fire followed. The powers that bind this world are gone. I'm Lucan. Now all legends and prophecy will be fulfilled. Our destiny has been decided. So yep, so now we can head to the Gurgu Volcano. There's another dungeon, the Ice Cave, and there's also the Castle of Ordeals. We haven't heard anything about the Castle of Ordeals, but that is a dungeon we can go to, and we will go to that dungeon. But first we're going to make a quick dive into the Gurgu Volcano. Like the Earth Cave, we're going to make several dives into Gurgu Volcano. Because it's a pretty big dungeon. And that other dungeon I mentioned, the Castle of Ordeals, we can get some good items there that'll help us in the deeper treks into the Gurgu Volcano. So one interesting thing about the canoe is it can basically make any river a port. Normally we can only park our ship at where there was the concrete, the little port sections, but now we can dock our ship at the mouth of a river and then canoe up the river. That's how we're able to get to the Castle of Ordeals and the Ice Cave. You'll notice here that as we're going through the rivers, we got some new monsters. There are 4 new monsters in the rivers here. So, we run into the second and third one here. The Ocho is the green thing there. They can be annoying because, as you can see, they poison. Now, if we had if the coral sword functioned properly, we'd be able to do some extra damage to them. The coral sword is what Chip has, but remember the swords were bugged, so we ran into some hydras earlier, and we also this is the other enemy there, the Caribe, the fish. The other enemy that we could meet in the rivers is a gator. And the North has different enemies in their rivers. So, but we should see some of them because the Castle of Ordeals is up to the north. So there's we're gonna pull our ship into a river there, dock at its mouth, and then that's how we'll get to the Castle of Ordeals. So we may actually run into some river monsters, but that'll be for the next episode. Like I said, for now, we're just heading into the Gogu Volcano, which is to the south of us. To the north is where the Ice Cave is. We're going to be going there for a while because that's a pretty tough dungeon. So, it's mainly tough because it's smaller than the Earth Cave and Gogu Volcano, but it's tough because it has all these enemies that have like instant death or instant defeat attacks. Turn you to stone, petrifying you, well then, like I said, just instant death, so. Now this, Gogu is important, made a quick save out there because there's some pretty tough enemies in here. Well, the main one is these red gargoyles. If you run into a group of them, you're probably gonna get game over because they have a 50% chance to cast fire too. And if you run into like a group of them, say you run into 6, 7, and they all decide to cast fire too, yeah, you're out of luck. So that actually happened to me, so it's a good thing that I saved there before I headed in here. So also annoying enemy, perilous. They're like a cockatrice. They can have instant death on you. So make your save if you're worried about me like having all your characters at the same level. So now the bright sections of the floor, those are lava tiles. When you step on them, you lose 1 hit point. So you might think, oh, I'm going to avoid them as much as I could. But actually, it's good to walk on them because whenever you walk on them, the number that determines your random encounters, it doesn't decrease at all. So say the game rolls and says in 10 steps, you're going to run into a random encounter. Every step that you take on one of those lava tiles, it will not count toward those 10 steps. So it's a good way to avoid encounters. So even though you're taking 1 damage per step, you're avoiding a lot of encounters, where you'd probably lose more than, the hit points that you're losing. So, yeah, see right there? We just took 1 hit, 24 hit points there. So, that's like 24 entire steps we can take without a random encounter. So, when we actually go deeper into the Gogu Volcano, we're going to want to walk on as much lava as possible. As dumb as that sounds, that's just the way the game works. So, in the Ice Cave too, there's all these ice tiles that are like that. I guess they're so cold that your paws freeze, or little rats' paws freeze, so it hurts them. But they're very similar. So basically, anytime you're walking on a tile and it causes the screen to flash, that's a damaged tile, and you're not gonna run into enemies there. Sadly, future Final Fantasy games get rid of that. They don't get rid of the damaged tiles, but they get rid of the you can't get into random encounters on damaged tiles. So that's kind of annoying, but they got rid of some good things in future. Got rid of some things that were good from this Final Fantasy and future editions, but then of course they got rid of a bunch of stuff that was bad in the older Final Fantasies for the new ones. Like in Final Fantasy 3, they finally get rid of the if you attack a target that was defeated, you waste your turn. In Final Fantasy 3, they auto-target you, automatically select a different target, so you be a little less strategic in your inputs. Then we got our second elemental fiend there, not fiend, but element. The fire. So see, we sold that silver helmet, and you got a silver helmet back. So we're gonna have to reorganize our thing here to fulfill my obsessive compulsiveness. But yeah, and then we'll end up getting another silver shield and another silver helmet from all these treasure chests here. So the treasure chests on the right are pretty spread out, but over on the left there's a big concentration of treasure chests. So if you just want to get that armor back real quick, you just head through the lava to the left and then get that big treasure chest. But like I said, I'm not too worried about my defense, my physical defense at least. The big problem I have, like I said, worried about this party is run into those red gargoyles and their spells. There's a few enemies that also use like fire-based spells in this area, but you know, Fire 2 is the worst one. Blaze is used by red dragons, that's pretty bad too. And then some enemies use Scorch, but Scorch is weak. It's almost like a Fire 1. Blaze is like a Fire 2. So, Cremate is also like a Fire 1. So that's not too bad. So luckily we took out that red Hydra pretty quickly. So boy, I had a chance to use this thing. So sneak our way around here. And we're going to get into another trap tile here. 2 fire elemental enemies. And we're going to get a new sword here in this treasure chest, the Giant Sword. This is the one that the Nintendo Power Strategy guy says you get this, and as soon as you get it, go back to the Hall of Giants in the Earth Cave. But remember, the sword doesn't do extra damage. It's actually weaker than the Silver Sword. It has a little bit better hit percentage than the Silver Sword. But that extra hit percentage isn't going to be all that important because it's not enough to boost one of our fighters to get an extra hit. But I'm still going to equip it because, you know, just to see something different. So we don't have to worry, keep looking at our characters swinging the same swords there. So 40, 40, 70, 38, 75. So yeah, it gives -2 damage to +5 hit. Like I said, our next hit modifier ain't coming until 96 hits, so no real reason to choose the Giant Sword over the Silver Sword, other than for like aesthetic looks. So Giant Sword looks pretty cool. It's like a purple sword, like Mace Windu's lightsaber. So bloop. Not a trap tile there, although kind of I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a trap tile there. So, heal ourselves up. Because I think I ran into Wizard Ogre, Green Ogre group there. And that's a common trap tile. And I was like, wait, is that a trap tile there? So that's why I doubled back there just to check. So, it was not. I'm using quite a bit of our heal potions, but that's what they're there for. So, every place sells heal potions. So, although in the north though, it's annoying because the heal potions aren't on the first slot when you go to buy something, so it's easier to go down and buy them in like a southern town because they can whatchamacallit, you can just press A and it'll automatically default back to the heal potions. That's a Nintendo Power thing. They say, hey, if you have a turbo control, just hold down the turbo A and it'll buy all your heal potions. So the Perilous, they're kind of annoying because, see, they have a 1 in 4 chance of using Squid. Squid is instant death. It instantly KOs a character, so we don't want that to happen to us. So luckily we got like a preemptive strike there. So we managed to take out 3 of them before the others acted, so. But similar to the cockatrices, from now on, whenever I run into them, I'm just going to run. So they don't knock out my characters, because I don't want to keep everybody the same experience. So we got to see the Giant Sword there a little bit. The purple sword. see quite a few of these fire elementals. So, common trap tile. But it makes sense. I mean, this is the Fiend of Fire's lair, so... The Fiend of Fire, interesting enough, you're kind of suggested to go to it second, but from now on, you can defeat the Fiends in any order. Kind of have to do a little bit of going out of your way and sequence breaking, but all the Fiends can be defeated in whatever order you want from now on, so... Although it is kind of, it makes sense logically to go after, do it the way the game intended, because the monsters scale. So these monsters are going to be easier than the ones in the Water Temple, which are going to be easier than the ones in the Sky Castle. So, but you can always, like I said, go to a different Fiend and power level up, and come back here and, just curb stomp the enemies because you're so much stronger than what you should be. Here's the big treasure area here. Over there to the left is the passageway down. Yeah, you're making your way to the bottom of the volcano. You enter in at the top there. So let's just shift things around a little bit there. We'll get the shield in a little bit. There's a silver axe. Has less hit percentage than the silver sword, but it has more attack than the silver sword. So 40, 70. Let's equip it. And we went to 42, 65. That 65 is still more than 64, which is where we get the second attack multiplier, with our third attack multiplier. So that it's good to just change it up there. So we'll probably buy another silver axe then for boat then when we get back to Crescent Lake. So we finally got that other shield here. So, yep. So we made some money and we're still armored up entirely. We got a new enemy here, the Grey Worm. Although he looks green. So, but then gray, green, they all are weird. So maybe they, those gray imps are supposed to be green imps. I don't know. But I guess that's the problem with, when you had limited space to spell out names. We can tell this one though was British though because they spelled gray with an E. So yeah, American English uses A for gray, and British uses E. So we can avoid that trap tile on the. There's some fires there that we encountered going into that area. So we just have to step off to the left and we'll be fine. Now we can get out this way here. And then we're going to walk on the lava as much as possible to avoid those random encounters. Said the 1 hit point loss is preferable to get into a tough encounter. And with this, we are out of the Gurgu volcano. We'll be back though for it, because like I said, the Fiend still rests at the bottom of the volcano. But we want to head instead now to the Castle of Ordeals. But before we head there, we should head back to Crescent Lake, because we're going to need our boat to get to the Castle of Ordeals. We couldn't get to the Castle of Ordeals earlier because we didn't have the canoe. Remember, there's no ports up to the north, so we have to create our own ports by, using the canoe. So, but unfortunately, all the other towns, they don't have rivers going into them, so the Castle of Ordeals is the only place we can go up to the north, but it's a good place to go, which is why I went there in my first Let's Play of this game, because there's some really good items and armor, one weapon, and one piece of armor that can cast some spells for free. The Zeus's Gauntlet, which casts Lit 2 for free, and then a Heal Staff, which casts Heal 1 for free. So, let's just sell off that excess Silver Gauntlet we have there. We can buy another Silver Axe here for Boat, because we saw that gives him better attack power, and whatchamacallit, it doesn't affect his the amount of hits that he can do. So, and we basically almost paid for that Silver Axe by selling the Giant Sword here. Just short 500 gold, but gold isn't that much of an issue for us right now, so we're not going to be able to buy anything new until we get to the towns in the north. And we still have some dungeons to go through before we get to there, so basically all we have to do is basically spend our money on, heal potions and stuff like that, but we have plenty of money to do that, so hope you come back for my next episode where we head to the Castle of Ordeals. Take care, have a good day. Bye!